check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not.
And hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, and guess what? Live on YouTube.
I think I'm going to buy the tickets.
Are you going to do it?
I just don't want to wait, and I'm going to regret it, because if Sunday happens and we're down 3-0, that ticket I'm about to buy is going to be listed probably for $41.
Yeah, that's the only regret if it's a 3-0 series.
Which it very well could be. I don't want any of this to be misconstrued as like...
Well, how dare you? I got Blazer fan very upset with me right now
Why?
for speaking honestly about how I think the series is going to go.
What do they
how
think?
Dare you come in and be negative today?
Really?
We're really going to do that? Do you want me to come on the air and say I think they're going to sweep San Antonio? How about this? Breaking news. I think the Blazers are going to sweep San Antonio.
Oh, my God.
They're going to sweep them out of the first round of the playoffs.
Crap.
Denny Avdia is better than Victor Wembanyama. We're going to win a championship this year.
Wow.
Are you happy now?
How about that?
What are we doing, man? I love this market and hate this market simultaneously sometimes. I don't think they're going to win the series. If that affects your day, I apologize. But that's the risk that you're taking.
Well, if Denny doesn't score 41, who is going to have better production to be close with a really good team?
Doesn't matter. We're better than San Antonio. We're going to win every game by 20 points.
Damn right.
Yeah, you're rolling the dice either way. Because if it is 3-0, the ticket prices will undoubtedly come down.
It might be
$100
less than what I'm about to buy it
But
for.
then also add in the fact of, what if they do steal a game in San Antonio, one of the first two? And you go into if they steal one of the first two games, the ticket prices for Game 4 will shoot through the roof.
Now, here's why I haven't bought it yet. And even though I gave the opinion of I think they will win one of the two for whatever weird reason I think it's a 5-game series, but I think they steal one of the first two.
Just don't give me a Sean Elliott shot. That's all I ask for.
Here's my hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched them play this team without Wemby and Castle.
Yeah.
And they needed to win it, by the way.
Yeah, it was for playoff standings and all that. It was a big win for them, or needed one.
And yeah, they cut it to like 6 or 5 or something, but largely San Antonio handled them.
They did.
And now I'm like, okay, wait, Castle and Wemby are going to play now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's why I don't
I'm hesitating. I don't know what to do here. I'm stuck.
you gotta make a decision.
I do not want to cost myself
money.
$400 total dollars, because if Game 4 happens and they're down 3-0, that ticket might just be offered to me.
It could be.
Hey, dude, nobody's buying it. You just want it? Like, yeah, sure, I'll take them.
I got a pair of tickets in 212 if you want them. They're all yours. Down up!
I would definitely check social media and somebody, hey, man, I heard what you said on Wednesday's show. I coincidentally have tickets to that game. We're out. It's 3-0. I'll give them to you for like $30 each, and I'll be like, damn it.
Can I tell you, we'll get to the Jailblazer doc. We haven't talked about that yet today. We'll have a ton more thoughts. Good morning to our audience on YouTube, for everybody tuning in. Glad that we got that worked out. Thank you, Brand Man, for coming in and helping us out there. I will say, one of the things that I am most excited for about this postseason series, not just on top of like finding out where we stack up, right? I talked about it in the last hour. I still have a hard time figuring out what category to put Denny into. And I'm not going to change my mind based off of a game against Phoenix. Like, I need a larger sample size on the biggest stage before I, feel a certain way going into the offseason.
Right.
I saw somebody bring up the point. I can't remember who it was. I wanted to shout him out, but somebody had a great point last night that was basically like, great timing for this to happen, because we all know, who have been around the organization long enough, growing up in the area. Like, there's a generation of Blazer fans who haven't had a chance to see a playoff game. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. If you're like, for your kids, for example, or if your kids are in the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old range, you don't remember a playoff game. You haven't been to a playoff game. Mm-hmm. And so there's a whole new wave of fans that I think will have some life injected into them, and they'll be excited and go to the game and catch the fever, and then you'll be more all in next year, because we all remember those moments as kids.
Right.
But we know what this city is like come playoff time. We know what the environment is like in the Moda Center come playoff time. And they just brought up the point of, like, we got new owners. We got to figure out how the renovation stuff is going to happen with the Moda Center, what the investment level is going to be in certain things on and off the floor going forward. The coaching rumors are rampant. If they don't want to spend a lot of money, what are they going to do in the offseason? Are they going to be aggressive? But is there any bigger indicator to show a new owner what this city can be like when things are going great than having a home playoff game right out of the gate? And having, like, just the atmosphere on that Friday night game. Talk about a perfect schedule. Not that it wouldn't be rocking on a Tuesday, but you add in the extra element that it's a Friday night is your first home playoff game in, 5-6 years, however long it's been.
5.
And that that place is going to be full an hour before tip.
Well, actually, no.
Let's go Blazer chance will be happening the entire game. Like, it's going to be insane. And for a new owner to get to see that and be like, damn, he knows what the investment level is. He probably knows that we're passionate fans. But it's a different level in Game 3 of the playoffs than it is Game 72 of the regular season.
Remind me, in 21, we were still dealing with COVID stuff. Were there fans allowed at the arenas?
I believe there were, but it was on a limited basis, if I'm not mistaken.
Pushed them. They couldn't
away
be in,
from
like,
the
the
floor.
first
That's right. I remember
rows.
that. But I couldn't remember if we were TV screens or we were real people in person.
I believe that was the only time that it
Bubble
wasn't
was
real
the
people
TV
was
screens,
Bubble, was
right?
TV screens. The next year, at the start of the year, I don't think there were fans, but by the time the playoffs came around, and that was the series we lost to Denver.
So that was our last home playoff game with fans.
Yes.
But even that is not the same environment. So really, 2019.
It's been a minute, dude.
Since
the conference finals,
minute.
since we've had a legitimate sellout home playoff game.
I love what you're saying, because I think you're right in a lot of ways. He was seen filmed getting shoot around in. He was shooting shots. People were like, dude, how about that, huh?
Got his headphones in, getting some buckets up.
I think Mark Cuban was like, dude, this guy's a bucket getter. And so people feel good because the guy genuinely comes off as a sports fan.
Yeah.
Everything you said, it might motivate him to want to get stuff done around the arena and in the arena. And I was also told that he probably doesn't know, or at least was not reminded, that the WNBA is happening this summer, and so their renovation stuff in the summertime is probably not happening, because he was caught off guard with that question.
Yeah, that's a can of worms.
Because they kicked it to Dwayne, and Dwayne was like, we want to get on it, but the timeline of 27, 29, 31 was the ultimate goal. I still don't
understand, as somebody, I know you haven't been in. Yeah. I don't understand why they can't play in the VMC.
Because they already had an agreement.
I'm not saying permanently. I'm saying while the renovations are taking place.
You're talking about the WNBA team?
The WNBA team.
I mean, yeah, you can wonder that.
It holds 9,000.
Is it 9? I thought it was 12.
I think they took out some seats in the renovation because the seats are now wider.
Okay.
It's all, the concourse is all new. The everything in that inside that, it's not the old VMC if you haven't been in.
Well, they have to get some funding stuff secured on the Blazer end, but
sure.
I don't know if he knew
yeah.
when that timeline was really going to start. My point is just simply,
right.
for everything you're highlighting, he's also seeing a passionate fan base in Carolina, and I don't think that's stuff that necessarily sways
That's fair.
how he operates or views everything. Does he want the team to be good? Yes. Why? Well, he wants to charge more. Does he want people to have good concession prices? Yes. Why? Because they end up paying more.
Right.
So, like, that stuff matters to him. He's not going to be here in the city enough, I think, for him to feel what you're talking about.
I mean, that's fair. I think what I would say is that's mainly the argument being for any of the fringe fans who still have that fear in the back of their mind that this thing could be going somewhere else. And maybe that still isn't even enough to change their mind.
We're still doing that?
I don't think we are. Well, we're not doing that, but of course those fans still exist. I know those fans still exist.
Let them go on a Reddit page and do that. I don't want to do that.
I just think it's a great way to showcase. It's been a long time. It's been nearly a decade since we played a legitimate home playoff game. 2019 was
Half
the last
of a decade is a long time.
Since we blew a double-digit lead in Game 4 of the conference finals with the Golden State Warriors and our season came to an end. That's the last time we had a legitimate sold-out playoff game.
Was that the Myers-Leonard game?
That the Game 3 and Game 4 were Myers-Leonard games.
Yeah, we were there.
No, I know.
We were blessed.
We were blessed.
I bought a pair of shorts because of that.
Yeah, that's right. And then he did the thing on the stream, and it was like...
That happened later, okay? That happened later.
He had the shorts. Like, you have something after.
We forgive and forget.
You wearing those blessed shorts at all?
He had 30 points in Game 4.
And didn't he have like 25 of them in the
most
first
of
half?
them at halftime.
Yeah, because the building was going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a double-digit lead again, and we scored 16 points in the fourth quarter, and then...
That was the series in a nutshell. We had leads, and
outside
we blew
of
it every
Game 1.
time.
Game 1, they smoked us.
I remember
in
that
Game
one,
1.
yes. But Game 2, they blew a lead. Game 3, Game 4, it was all like we're blowing leads, and Golden State won it.
Pull up Myers' game from Game 3.
I mean, I just think in general, like no matter
16 in Game 3.
where you're at on... Dirt is offending me because he's saying the Spurs will win in 5, or I think this will be 6, or it's going to be a sweep. You guys are Blazer idiots. Whatever, wherever you are, the universal agreement is that this city buzzes more
without a doubt
when you're involved.
I'm psyched to have actual meaningful game. Like, this is going to be awesome to talk about for the next 2, no matter how it goes, right? Like,
yes,
this guy, like you're playing with house money at this point, getting to a 7 seed. There would have been the thought of, had you lost last night and lost the other play-in, like, sure, there's the benefit of getting your first-round pick and having that ammunition in the offseason.
Oh, I think it would have been a dud.
But it also would have felt like a massive disappointment of, like, dude, the bottom of the West sucked. We weren't better than these. The Warriors haven't won a game in a month.
Right.
We just beat the Clippers. Like, how are we not better than the Suns already? So you would have been left asking more questions. And the fact that now you know that you're the 7th, whether you win a game or get swept, like that's kind of a moot point to me. Mm-hmm. You have taken a step. You've gotten into the playoffs. You're not the last team in. You won't be a sacrificial lamb to OKC. And now
you might be one of the Spurs.
You might be one of the Spurs, but there is the benefit of, like, San Antonio never being there before. Like, I don't know how big of a storyline that will be, and I think Wemby is he's maybe the best up-and-coming player in the league. You could argue maybe he should win the MVP this year and deserves more consideration.
Duncan won the title his second season.
Yeah, it's just this is far more interesting than playing Oklahoma City, and I think you feel like internally, whether it's a 0% chance to a 2% chance or a 1% chance to an 8% chance, that you give yourself against San Antonio as opposed to Oklahoma City. It is slightly higher than it would be against the defending champs. So this is all house money. You kind of like you're going in the right direction, and then we can get to the questions in the offseason when the offseason arrives, whether that's in 4 games, 5 games, or in the second round of the playoffs. I don't know. I'm psyched to have playoff basketball back in Portland and to have that buzz in the city where everybody is like last night was the first time. I'm in a couple of different group chats, and I got one with buddies who follow sports and all that. It was the first time in God knows how long, maybe since NBA draft night, to be honest with you, that the whole feed was chiming in on the Blazers.
This past draft?
Yeah, like the Young Hansen of like, wait, what the hell was that? Like, I
Sure.
think everybody reacted to that because we didn't we
Nobody
were going to take him.
Yeah.
But it was like every 8 seconds, boom, 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 like every time there was a turnover or a big shot, like it was the entire night. And it was like, man, I kind of forgot what this felt like.
I thought they highlighted that part of the doc, and I know we'll get to that, but like the highlighting of this being the only pro sports team on the major, core 4 that matters in a different way.
Yep.
And whether you think this team is going the right direction, they need to tweak it this way, they're going the wrong, whatever your opinion is, just when this team starts playing games with stakes, you're kind of an idiot if you can't see how much it matters to everybody that cares about sports here.
Yes.
And so last night, the draft pick or the 8 or the 7 or the do you have a chance, not have a chance, none of that mattered. You know what mattered? Watching Denny Avdia get 41.
Be the best player on the floor.
And hit a go-ahead shot and them get a key stop and winning on the road on the only featured game of the night in the entire league and grab the 7th seed.
Yeah, you're a standalone show.
Your standalone show, you got to show what you are. You've got people covering and talking about the league all over. TV, podcasts, this team. And we haven't been in that position in a long time. And it matters a great deal, man. To your text point, you get people that text you when this team is in games with real stakes. And last night, that's what we got, along with Denny dropping 41.
We got text coming in earlier saying it's the first time I've watched a full Blazer game all year.
I know. Man. Yeah, I get it.
Those people are now on board. Like, that's the beauty of the playoffs in this city, is that kind of brings everybody on board. Where are you at on the San Antonio series? You can yell at me for thinking they lose. 503-864-6326. Tell me what they're going to win by, every game by 15. We're just curious where fans are at. I do eventually want to get into, we'll probably do it at the bottom of the hour, for those who have watched the Jailblazer documentary. I finally finished it last night. I think I finished it during halftime.
Oh, I got it
jumped
done
over from halftime, and then I had a few minutes left in the doc.
Yeah.
Then I want to talk about that. What did we think we hit the mark? Did it miss the mark? What do we like about it, not like about it? So we'll get to that coming up. Some more thoughts, though, on the Blazers leading into their matchup against San Antonio next on The Fan. right, let's read a couple thoughts. Fan text line 503-864-6326. We'll dive into the Jailblazer doc coming up bottom of the hour. Got a couple of football nuggies, not a ton, but the Russini thing's interesting, so we'll probably bring that up at some point.
Found myself feeling bad.
Yeah, I mean, we all fed the beast. We're all guilty of it.
You feed the beast. Some people fed the beast.
Yeah, I mean,
large
I'm not out
portions
there putting videos out,
but
we play clips on the show. We talked about it. I mean, it's interesting. Yeah. It's news in the sports world, but we'll get to that at some point on the show today. This one came in. Is this the first time all season they've had all their guys healthy? Sans Dame, of course. That's what I'm excited about the most for the series. I think we lose, but you can finally see where you're at with your full complement of guys. And I think that, we didn't know if Jeremy was going to play last night. He was questionable going into the game. There was a thought, well, maybe not. He ended up having a massive impact on the game and hit those threes late.
Yeah.
Was a big part of you kind of coming back late after blowing that lead, late third, early fourth quarter. And that, I think, gets back to the point that you brought up earlier in the week of why you wanted them desperately to win that game last night, of just seeing, you have everybody, sans Dame, of course, who will be back next year. Although Worldwide Wob had a really funny tweet. It was like, can we just get Dame to rappel from the rafters ahead of Game 3 in uniform? like Sting coming down. And now the letter O. And he's coming down from the rafters, getting ready to play. So that one made me chuckle. But I think that's the ultimate win of the series, is simply, where are we at? Mm-hmm. All the takes that are coming in about Denny, people are throwing stuff in your face, Sprague. Third option, huh, Sprague? That's going to come out today. We got a fully healthy team, sans the one guy we knew was not going to be healthy all year. Grant's back, Scoot's back, Shaden's back. All these guys are in the lineup. Now we get to see how you stack up over the course of a series, not a one-game sample size, against a team who was hovering at or above 500 the majority of the season. This is a legitimate title contender that you get to play. Can you hang? Can you win a game? Can you force them into an uncomfortable situation? Do you get steamrolled? It'll give us a great blueprint going into the offseason of where we're at and what we need to improve and adjust.
Well, no doubt the Denny stuff was remarkable last night. Actually, I think I say thank you to the people texting in about the third option thing that I said, 4 months ago? Mm-hmm. Last year? I mean, I don't know when I said that, but it was a substantial amount of time. I'm glad you held on to it. I'd be willing to reconsider the position. I still, when you talk about leading a team to a title, I'm not quite sold on that, despite how super impressive all that was. But yeah, maybe the second, for sure. I also, as happy as I was that they won, because one, I bet the money line. Two, I thought they would as soon as that matchup was announced. And three, I want to watch them play the Spurs, because I think the Spurs are one of the two teams in the West that are going to be here for some time. So let's see how you match up so you can figure out how to build this thing. Mm-hmm. Narrow victory. I didn't think Phoenix was that great. The defensive assignment and the way that they played Denny, I thought in the last possession was incredibly stupid. So there were elements on both sides for me. That being said, it is really important to note that they are healthy. Now, Dame Lillard is not a part of this, so some people could see this and say, look what we're doing. Now, when we add Dame...
Yeah, Dame will be back in the fold.
But I'm not one that's going to completely put everything in the same basket of, well, they made the 7 seed, and regardless of the outcome, Dame's coming back, run it all back. And I don't think they're going to operate that way. I said from the Dundon interview or press conference, my biggest takeaway is they're making a move. And I know some people don't believe that, but that's my opinion of it. As for the matchup, I mean, dude, all you ask for is an opportunity to go against teams that other people look at as title contenders.
Yes.
And so that's what you get. You get to see how they match up. You don't think the guy dealing with sore ribs is going to have a moment where our guy who committed a flagrant one foul might be putting that sidearm defensive positioning in a little firmer
and they're
going to
be less likely to blow the whistle against Wemby at 7'5" than 6'5" Dylan Brooks.
And so, I just want to see how it all looks. And you give them a ton of credit for winning last night. My bank account thanks you for winning last night. That was great. I want games that matter back in our city. Yeah. How they build it are areas we're going to disagree with at times. But all I ask for is for that team to matter. They haven't mattered in 5 years, and now they're at least in a conversation that people have to talk about them because, they're going against one of the title favorites in San Antonio.
A couple of thoughts here. Somebody said, I honestly think that the Blazers will win Game 1 against the Spurs. I think the Spurs might overlook us to start with. They will recover, but the Blazers will get a second win and lose the series in 6. I think all but one game will be close.
Here is my takeaway, because I think they'll lose in 5. That's my pick. Spurs in 5, and I don't think I'm going to change that between now and the first game. I don't know if it's game 1 or 2. I understand if you pick one or the other, it doesn't really matter. You think they win one.
Mm-hmm.
The game 1's interesting to me because the inexperience of a lot of the Spurs guys.
That continues to be a theme text.
Certainly
people like the idea that we're more experienced come playoff time.
All I'd say is I don't know if I'm putting Wemby in that category. He is the one that I think comes out in game 1 and doesn't say, well, it's the Blazers. I think he's one that comes out and says, I'm 6 o'clock primetime Peacock game, NBC National. I'm dropping 40 on your head.
Right.
Like, that's how I view him as a player versus, is Dylan Harper going to struggle? Is Stephon Castle going to be 2 for 10? Like, certainly possible. Wemby's like one of the only historical differences, I'd say. I don't have that expectation with Wemby to overlook the team and think the moment's too big.
They've also, the idea of them overlooking, I think if you want to lean on the lack of playoff...
This is their first playoff series.
They've never been in the playoffs.
This
group.
is their taste,
yeah,
man.
since
De'Aaron
like 18.
Fox has only been in one playoff series. I know...
They've had a longer drought than the Blazers have.
Yes, it's been a long time for them. Like, this is... Wemby's third year now, like they have not been in the. So I think it's one thing. You could have made that argument. I think against OKC, where game 1, you're like they're coming off a title defense. They've been going through the motions. They're the 1 seed, and they're like, we're playing Portland. They no show game 1, and then win every game by 30 from then on out. I think I'd believe a little bit more of that, but maybe it ends up being right. Who the hell knows how this plays out? That's the exciting part. I think I lean more on, if you want to be optimistic about the series, the lack of playoff experience from San Antonio. And maybe the moment being a little too big for some of those guys.
So here's my counter. How many big games, and you could say regular season playoffs are different. There's no doubt. How many big nationally primetime games have they been in this season?
They've been in a lot of them. They just played one against Denver the other day that felt like a big game, and the seeding was on the line, and they were trying to hold them off for the 2 seed, and they're trying to get the 1 seed. And so, yeah, and I brought it up earlier. Wemby's played in a gold medal game. That's about as big as you could possibly get in his home country on the international stage.
Yeah.
Talk about pressure.
More people watched that game than will watch any NBA Finals game.
Yes, they did. So he's certainly been there, and you can make the argument for guys from the college level as well, Castle in particular. So I just think I'd lean a little bit more on that. The idea of them overlooking us, I don't buy into that because of the fact that this is their first playoff game as a group, and they're starting what they believe to be as a dynasty run for years to come. This is game 1. They're going to want to come out and get on the right tone. But that's the beauty of the games, man. That's why you play them, because nobody knows has any clue how it will play out.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is, like, if they're winning a game, it's because Denny goes off again.
Yes.
It's because Drew Holiday plays exceptional. Tumani hits his threes. Jeremy chips in, and maybe Shaden gives you like 18, and Donovan dominates glass. Like, that's it. It's not a, Wemby scored 10 points game.
Right.
And if that happens,
he had the LeBron JJ Barea moment where you're like, dude, why are you not shooting?
And he can't figure it out. He's like, I don't know what's going on.
Rob Williams gets in his head for a game.
Now we're talking. Now we're our young center versus their young center. Let's see how we do.
Yeah, I just think we have one of those games in us where that happens, and they outplay some of the others on San Antonio.
Let's throw young Hansen at him. See how he responds.
DMP.
I liked this too. We'll go to the Jailblazer doc. Somebody said, willing to reconsider your position, Sprague? Sounds like Americant behavior. Well done. Jailblazer doc came out yesterday. We'll dive back into this series. Your thoughts are welcome. Whether you want to yell at us or give your thoughts, doesn't matter. 503-864-6326. The Jailblazer doc came out. We've been waiting for this for a long, long time. We happen to have starring roles in it for 17 seconds. No big deal. Waiting for my royalty check from Netflix.
I almost don't want to even say we're in it. Like, it's ridiculous.
What did you think of it if you watched it? I got some thoughts, and I know you guys do as well. We'll talk about that next. First, your Swag with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers back in the playoffs for the first time in 5 seasons. They will take on the San Antonio Spurs. Game 1 Sunday evening in the Alamo, 6 p.m. Denny Avdia with 41 points, 12 assists, 7 boards, leading Portland to a 114-110 play-in victory over the Suns. They outscored Phoenix 17-5 to close out the game. The Suns get another crack at it. They will host the winner of tonight's Warriors-Clippers game. You can hear that one on 910 ESPN Portland starting at 6:30. LA 5.5-point favorites. A week before the NFL draft, the NFL Network reporting The New York Giants and defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence have come to an impasse in negotiations for a contract extension. The team now seeing what a potential trade market could net them. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of dirt.
We get the status story coming up, final hour. Some more thoughts on the Blazers win over Phoenix yesterday. Enjoyed this one. Hey, this guy in the green hat's downer. Thank you, Simple Dude 70. Jailblazer doc came out yesterday. We have been awaiting a long time for the release of this documentary. I wasn't going in thinking this is going to blow my socks off and we're going to learn all sorts of new things. What stood out in watching the documentary? Do we give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever, kind of what we thought it was going to be?
Yeah.
How do we feel about the Jailblazer doc?
About what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't. I thought the star of the doc was actually Jeffrey Arnold.
Yeah, Jeffrey Arnold had a nice moment. I'd forgotten about Jeffrey Arnold.
I hadn't heard the name in a long time.
It's been a minute.
And I thought he was fantastic, providing insights that no other white people on that doc were providing.
No.
His line about, black players living in Lake Oswego and what they nicknamed it, and him just basically saying, I had that reaction as a journalist. Oh, the Oregonians hiring black people?
Right.
He went through some of that himself in his profession, and so for him to kind of have this multi-viewed angle of it, I thought was interesting. It was a nice reminder of the Rashid article that he wrote years ago that was, that certainly circulated.
Yeah.
Other than that, it really, to me, I thought they fast-forwarded too quickly through the Western Conference Finals years.
Yeah, they didn't touch on the San Antonio series at all leading into
zero.
the night. Didn't even mention that it happened.
Yeah, they made it seem like the Lakers' Western Conference Final run was their first real leap because they got Scotty. I just found it to more so be about how much we hate Rashid, how Damon loved weed, how Bob Whitsitt couldn't stop tweaking.
He loved the weed.
And how out of touch the organization became with the community and the nature of the organization.
Yeah, I became addicted to getting problematic players, and he just could not stop.
Yeah, and obviously Bonzi was kind of the driving force of this being made, according to Damon Stoudemire and Rasheed Wallace. Bonzi wanted to do this years ago. The only thing I liked from it, truly liked, I liked the perspective. I do think from time to time, because these guys start making so much money, we kind of omit or overlook what we were in similar age ranges. And the Bonzi part of going to Portland out of a draft trade and him thinking Portland, Maine, and then discovering Portland, Oregon, I'm not excusing the comments he made. I just think there's an element of growing up that I thought they touched on that I'm like Bonzi coming back, that meant a lot to him.
It did.
And
it healed a lot of wounds that had never healed.
Kind of thought that going into the reunion thing that they had this year, but also, I guess I didn't really consider to the full extent. Damon almost made him cry when he visited him in his hotel room and talked about growing up in a city. And
said the whole reason I did this, he didn't want to do it. The whole reason he did it was because Bonzi desperately wanted to.
I also, I kind of thought Arnold nailed it, and to a certain extent, this is where the doc, I thought, failed. I thought Arnold made a good point of Bonzi never got arrested.
He never got in trouble for anything. Sans a quote in a Sports Illustrated article that we don't care about the fans and what they think.
And Rashid went through his personality type mixed with everything going on around the team and then the media. That was just a toxic combination that was brewed up. Reliving the Damon illegal search in his house thing.
Dude, that was one of the standout for me of I remembered some of the details about things. I didn't remember all the details about the arrests and how they went down. The Hummer one, I did not remember that at the time they were just...
They weren't driving.
They weren't driving.
They were in the back seat.
And there were no charges, and then they woke up the next... They got a speeding ticket.
And they got elevated
Well, and they didn't because they weren't driving.
Right.
The driver got a speeding ticket, and they woke up the next morning to elevated charges. I didn't remember those details.
Sure.
I also remember there being controversy about Damon's arrest for the pound of weed that he had in his house, but not all the specifics of, and then to hear him talk about how he came home and something was funky,
he could tell
somebody was in his house, what is happening here, and then all of a sudden they show up and they're going through the house, and then he gets arrested, and then he ends up winning the argument. He wins the case that it was an illegal search and they couldn't file any charges out of it.
He never went back to his house. He sold it.
He sold the house immediately. He was like, dude, I'm done. So remembering some of those details was nice to put a little context behind it. I agree largely with what you said. There wasn't a lot of new stuff. Frustrations I had with it, and I get that why some people wouldn't want to do it. I was frustrated there weren't more players involved. Getting Scotty on this, I think, would have been interesting in his perspective.
Did he want to be?
I don't know. Probably not.
He had Sean Kemp a little bit.
Yes. who probably signaled the biggest of all the downfalls when you go to the conference.
Ruben Patterson was
Sean Kemp came first, and he was after losing Game 7 of the conference finals. Your move to go beat the Lakers the next year was getting Sean Kemp,
who became so heavy he could barely
He was a fat ass who couldn't show up on time and had a cocaine problem, and that was your move, Bob Whitsitt.
No doubt.
So I wish there would have been another player or two involved. That was a disappointment. And then on each side of acknowledging mistakes, I was frustrated that Rasheed never once was in older life of
zero anything.
I shouldn't have gotten that many texts.
Yep.
I could have been a better teammate and not hurt my team in moment. Never once acknowledging that he had any fault in it.
Yeah.
And then Bob Whitsitt on the other side being like,
dude, he tripled down.
You got to be aggressive. You got to be innovative. You can't. You always got to be pushing. Dude, Bob, time has now healed the wound.
How about Bob Whitsitt challenging the interviewer of the doc? I dare you to find the free agent list of anybody better than Ruben that could have guarded Kobe.
Yes.
I don't have the list. Yeah, I'll wait.
Bring up the names. And then he never got in trouble while he played here. He got arrested for assaulting his wife. Yeah. They get to that in the documentary. Minutes later, there's a 911 call from Ruben Patterson's wife of him strangling her.
Yeah.
And then having him not having any wherewithal to say, man, I wish after we blew Game 7, we had such a good young team and we came so close and we had this clunky fourth quarter our second half, whenever it started, right?
Missed shots.
I in hindsight, I wish I would have given it one more year to see what we could have done.
And that's how they felt.
And that's how the players felt. That's how they all admitted it in the doc of we wish we had one more crack at it. And here's Bob Whitsitt just saying, no, you always have to push the ball forward.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't sign Sean Kemp's fat ass.
I thought it was interesting for him at the beginning to talk about getting a computer as a GM when nobody had that before.
That was funny.
And him kind of acknowledging in a roundabout way, I had to, because we don't get free agents, I had to find guys problematic, but then in the back end of the doc telling you why, still to this day to him, Ruben Patterson was the right decision.
Very defensive about that. I think the only mistake he acknowledged was the Kemp one. After Kemp had to leave the team halfway through the season to go to cocaine rehab. And it was a good point. The one thing I'll give Whitsitt credit on was him pointing out, and this was wild, I didn't know the stat, there's only 3 teams in the history of the NBA that have a 9-year stretch averaging 50 or more wins every single season. And the Jailblazers were one of them.
They just didn't bring home the title.
The other ones were the Showtime Lakers and the Bad Boy Pistons, which also rubbed a little more salt in the wound of they were really good.
The Spurs weren't in there?
No, according to Whitsitt. Okay. I guess maybe we shouldn't take his word for it.
Spurs and Bulls were not in there. Jordan won 6 and 8, and they were still good when he was
for a 9-year stretch. Did they do it before they won the first title? Did they win 50 games? I know they were good the 2 years he was gone.
I guess.
So, that's what Whitsitt said on the doc. So maybe I shouldn't take him at his word.
Sure.
But that kind of blew my mind of because you forget in some of those years that they lost with all the controversies that they were still winning 50 games every year.
Well,
even with all that other stuff going on.
I like that they got Colin back on it to talk about the Portland-based stuff.
He was pretty loose. He was fun in the documentary.
Well, Colin's at a point now where he makes a lot of money.
He doesn't care anymore.
Anything he does.
Let him fly, baby.
That being said, I kind of thought we'd have more local media members on than they had. Where was Joe Becker?
Where was Kerry Eggers?
Yeah,
he wrote a book about him.
Dude, and by the way, took a subtle shot on the podcast that those 3 did with Matt Barnes of people writing Jailblazer books, but they didn't get no quotes from us, did they?
Maybe that's why they weren't in the doc then. Because Bonzi, I think, had a big say in this.
Dave Deckard was in the doc.
He was, yeah.
And I'm not saying Dave Deckard shouldn't, Blazers Edge. I get it, but I just was surprised certain people weren't in it.
Yeah, the only other frustration I had was I wish there was a little more fan perspective of different generations of what we felt at the time, what it meant to the city, and it harped on a lot. The negativity was certainly there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no doubt about it, but there's also, when I talked about this when you were out, there's a generational difference, right? For people in our generation, that's kind of all we got, and we came close, and I've said a million times, first time I ever cried was Game 7, and so that's kind of all we had in our childhood, and so it was different to us than it was to older generations of fans. And they showed a couple of news clips from kids saying they're not role models anymore. And I
remember that.
I never felt that way as a kid.
Well, the other thing,
I more laughed when they got in trouble.
Yeah, I also didn't use athletes as a child as that's my ground for morality. And just like, I don't know, you could just choose to not.
I thought smoking weed in the yellow Hummer sounds kind of fun.
Actually, I kept going back, and I was when I saw the interviews with everybody they talked to, I wondered how many of the adults would I guess were smoking weed at their home at the time that were going on the
critical
news.
of the team and the
they're
players.
Like, it should be better role models.
I can't do this.
Yeah. I mean, look, Sheed is, I'm with you. The fact that he just like, F them, I'll never go back.
Didn't come to the reunion.
There's just some elements of like growing up and maturing and changing. And yeah, you may have felt wronged in a lot of ways, no doubt. You just did nothing wrong.
It's been almost 30 years. You can't acknowledge
like not anything. Single thing.
Not
that
one.
You
Can't
did.
find one regret. One regret's all I'm looking for.
So that was just one element of it. But like for people that wonder why did kids my age, I'm 2 years older than you. Like Rasheed was a big deal. It's no different than any other musician or movies. It's a counterculture thing. There's a rebel nature to the technical fouls that, like, me at that age, I loved it. It was like, hated the those guys, man. And I understand kind of all the viewpoints of it, but largely kind of what I expected from the doc is what it was. The only surprise, they stole stuff from our show.
Hey.
We didn't get a heads up on it, and we're in it.
Give me my check, Netflix. Give me my check.
All 16 seconds of us.
I'm going to add that to my Twitter profile. Netflix star.
You couldn't,
Netflix celebrity.
This would be a personal complaint. We'll go when we get on YouTube. You couldn't put, like, voices during Sprague?
Yeah. 105.1 The Fan even.
A 105.1 graphic?
Station, something.
Something?
Anything.
Just random two guys saying, good Tuesday morning, we got breaking news.
Shout out to our listeners who knew our voices and sent us messages saying we were in it. They heard right away.
Love that it came out on a Tuesday, and I'm saying, hey, happy Tuesday morning.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. What'd you make of the doc? If you saw it, 503-864-6326. Jailblazer doc came out yesterday on Netflix. We get to a quick NFL note coming up top of the hour. Starter story back after this on The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
Ovechkin, Chikrin, Wilson, one touch. Tom Wilson to the middle. Feeds Chikrin with all day. Chikrin fires. Score! Jacob Chikrin!
Yeah, how about that one? Last night, that's Monumental Sports, as Ovi might have played his last game. The Capitals beating the Blue Jackets 2-1. He's laying wood because he's the all-time leader in goals, power play goals, overtime goals, game-winning goals, game-tying goals. A lot of people think this is the last year for Ovi.
Very well could be. He had a nice moment against Pittsburgh. Him and Crosby had been two of the biggest faces of the league for a long time, and who knows how many more years they'll both play. But if it is the end, it's been a hell of a run for Ovi and a nice game last night.
Ovi laying wood. Laying Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, and special orders. Visit them at mrplywoodinc.com or their location on Southeast Stark Street.
Somebody pointing out one of the non-Jordan years for the Bulls, because you asked about the Bulls in that streak. They won 49 games. So I think it was 9 straight years of 50 or more wins.
So that would have been, I think it would have been the year Jordan came back, because I think the year after Jordan left, they won 55.
Yes, and then lost to Orlando.
No, they lost to the Knicks.
Oh, was that when Pippen tapped out?
Yes. And they gave it to Kukoc for the game winner.
Tony.
I think they won 55, and then the next year Mike came back.
The
just
Spurs
past the
is a shocker. I, too, would have thought the Spurs in their run in the early 2000s.
I mean, I know they had the 1 year in there when Robinson had the back injury. They tanked, got Duncan. But I thought once Duncan
got there, yeah.
They won 50 every stinking year.
All right, let me check. For historical context, we want to make sure Bob Whitsitt's not lying to us. Let's see here. Let's go to, 98, 99, 37 wins.
Yeah, 47 for the Bulls in the year when MJ came back and they lost to Orlando.
Yeah, this Bob Whitsitt's an idiot. They definitely did.
The Spurs had to have. Duncan was like an automatic 50-win player.
So obviously there was a lockout shortened season that they didn't get to. That's kind of misleading. They were 37-13, won the title.
Because they played 50 games that
yes. Then they went 53, 58, 58, 60, 57, 59, 63, 58, 56, 54, 50, 61, 50, 58, 62, 55, 67. It took them until 2018 in order to not get there. So Bob Whitsitt, first off, take accountability for being a dumbass and trading for Sean Kemp. Also, your stats are wrong. There's not only 3 teams in the history of the league.
You get stats wrong when you're doing content.
That's pretty egregious. If there's like a random team from like the 1950s who did it, and you're like,
of all the things to be bickering about from the doc, it'd be upset. How about why did you bring in Ruben Patterson and Sean Kemp?
Pretty bad stuff, man. Pretty bad stuff. Pretty frustrating. Tough to relive some of it.
I don't know how much people love it. I haven't gotten a feel for that yet. I don't think it's been out long enough for people to like.
I don't know how many people have even watched it. Yeah, because it came out, and then if you're working yesterday, you get home. There's a Blazer game on TV last night. Like, I think people will eventually get to it and watch it, and I would recommend watching it. Like, there's moments in there where you learn something. I didn't remember the detail about the team bus driving past the Hummer. Like, there's little anecdotes in there that are pretty funny.
That part I remember. Yes.
You remember the team bus driving by it?
I also love Rashid acting like he saw everybody's face. Those windows are super tinted, and it's like 11:30 at night.
I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
You saw your teammates' faces in your head. But yeah, the yellow Hummer thing you get to relive.
Good reminder that nothing good ever happens in Chehalem. Nothing ever.
Centralia.
Was it Centralia?
Centralia or
Chehalis? Chehalis. Either one. It's fine. Get out of there.
Chehalem Glen. Fun golf course.
Chehalem Glen is a great golf course.
Chehalem Mountains. Lovely wineries up there.
Can we also be honest, when they showed the photo of the pull-over Centralia officer with a dog, you went,
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh, they got super aggressive, huh?
Oh, Damon saying I got pulled over in three times in one day. Like Oswego.
Yeah.
Well done. All righty, lots to get to in the final hour of the show. Somebody stepping away. Some more thoughts on the Blazers, including historical context of what we need to know. Something the Jailblazer doc overlooked. We've played the Spurs a lot in the playoffs, including a conference finals.
Yes.
So we'll give you some of the numbers behind that. Stat or story coming up at 9:15. It's a loaded final hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM The Fan.
Are you having...
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan for the first time in 5 seasons, Blazers are in the Western Conference playoffs. They earned the 7th seed after beating the Suns 114-110 in the play-in game. Portland closing down Phoenix 17-5 to get the victory. They will take on the Spurs. Game 1 Sunday in San Antonio, 6 p.m. Suns now get a second crack at getting in the playoffs. They host the winner of tonight's Warriors-Clippers game. You'll hear it on 910 ESPN. Portland starting at 6:30. LA a 5.5-point favorite. In the Eastern Conference, Charlotte Hornets kept their season alive, coming back to force overtime and beating the Heat on the final seconds. 127-126. They will take on the loser of tonight's Magic 76ers game. That's a 4:30 tip on Prime Video. The winner of that game will be the 7th seed, moving on to face the Celtics in round 1 of the playoffs. Philly, a 2.5-point favorite. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the fan happy.
Let's do this final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM. The Odyssey app live on YouTube. Better late than never. Shout out to all our folks on YouTube today. It's great to be there. Good to be here. What a show it's been. We've talked a ton about the Blazers, going all the way back to the opening of the show, who got a win over Phoenix last night, and they are officially in the playoffs. The 7th seed taking on San Antonio. And it will all begin Sunday night. How fun is Monday's show going to be? Either way, just to react to an actual playoff game.
It'll be great, man.
Coming in. It's been a long time since we've been able to do that on this show.
We're also, it's Sunday evening. It's going to be a prime time, the last game of the weekend for the first round. Like, that's us.
Isn't 6 o'clock a perfect time?
It's a perfect time.
8:30-ish, you'll be wrapping up.
I'd argue the following Sunday's a perfect time, but yes,
12:30 I'm fine with too. But like if you're going prime time window,
I think if you're going to a game, 12:30 is perfect. If you're watching at home, your kind of weekend is wrapped up.
I like having my Sunday night. I'm going to disagree with you, but yes, for most of America.
What is the game Sunday night? Because there will be one eventually that Sunday night, right? Or
I'm talking about our home Sunday game, not this Sunday's game.
Okay.
I'd rather have 12:30 as a person at home because I just like watching afternoon sports.
Got it.
Versus the 6. But 6 for most people, yes, perfect.
Lots to get to. Status story coming up here in a little bit. We'll talk about the Diana Russini thing. That story just won't go away. And now she's going away, so there's been an outcome to it. I did find this interesting. Now, I probably would have been able to guess this, but it did blow me away when Swag alerted us to the fact that Portland, in their history, has never won a playoff game in San Antonio.
That's according to ESPN Stats and Information.
According to ESPN Stats and Info, I think their information is a little bit better than Bob Whitsitt's.
So that's going to change.
They have never won a playoff game in San Antonio. Now, they're not 0-74 all time. It's 0-10.
It's not great, though.
But 10 is a decent enough sample size to say, like...
It's not 0-2.
It's not one playoff series and you never won a game. They're 0-10 all time.
Right.
Does that come to an end in this series? Give me a Patrick Harris 10 toes down take. Do they win a game? Yes.
Game 2.
Game
Why?
2, not game 1?
I don't know.
You like game 2?
I think game 1, Wemby's going to come out like a madman.
Well, the other interesting thing is Wemby hasn't played against the Blazers since before Christmas of 2024.
Yeah, he was asked about Denny at the All-Star break.
That's pretty wild.
And he shrugged his shoulders like, I haven't really played against him. Don't foul him.
Well, he was out, the last half of the year last year? How many games did he play last season? Because he had the blood clot stuff, and they shut him down. And then he missed. He's missed him. Did he play? I'm assuming he didn't.
Did not play at all in any of the 3 games this season.
3 games? Yeah. That's wild.
Spurs
Bad
were
luck.
2-1.
I was at so it wasn't last year then. I was at the game that he played at the Moda Center.
December
the last one.
21st, 2024 was the last time he faced
and
the Blazers.
And that was at the Moda Center?
I believe so.
Then that was the game I was at. He was great in that game. That was a great game.
Another fun fact for you, that Tiago Splitter and Mitch Johnson are the two coaches in this series.
First year.
Neither one has ever coached a playoff game before.
Yep.
So, including to the conversation from last night, that's not a playoff game, it's a play-in game.
Yeah.
Right.
Neither coach has ever coached a playoff game before. It's the first time that's happened in the NBA since 2015. And Tiago Splitter,
Former Spur.
Who's on the 2014 title team.
Blocked at the rim by James in 2013.
That's right.
Famous play.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The other block that James had overshadowed the previous block.
That was the block until the other block.
And then a new block replaced that block.
It's almost like LeBron's good at defense.
Now we have two blocks. He's Lichoke, though.
I like Tiago, man. I'm rooting for Tiago to have a good series here. I thought last night...
let's just ask the question from last night, because I agree with you. I thought last night was great. I also chuckle in saying that and give the ball to Denny and get out of the way. If Denny doesn't go for 41, they easily could have lost that game. What are we saying today?
There was a stretch in the middle of the third quarter, first part of the fourth quarter, when the Suns were making their run. The Blazers all they were doing was settling for threes. There was a point they were 1 of 15
because they were hot in the first half.
Yeah.
They shot better in the first half.
So that's where, and I don't know, he took more timeouts during the game than he did in the regular season. He's one to let guys kind of play through it. That was a point you needed to break things up. You needed to get in their ears and say, you got to stop settling for threes. We need to go back to the basket. Because what got him going down the stretch? Denny going to the basket and other guys going to the basket, and then collapse the defense, and Jeremy Grant got wide open corner threes.
Did he do enough to keep his job last night?
I mean, I think they're still going to go through the process of evaluating candidates. The reports are that Dundon's going to be cheap on this, and maybe they interview guys we haven't really heard of.
Yeah.
If you watch last night and you listen to the players, I don't want them to close it down the way they did the general manager hire or even the Chauncey hire.
So actually interview people?
Actually interview people. It has to matter some deal that people in that locker room rally behind him, like him.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, most people, let's use Jordan Ott here, they get a build-up into their first year. Do you know how he became a coach in his first year? The head coach was arrested by the FBI. Imagine being asked to do something and you didn't get to prepare for it at all. It was like, tomorrow you're doing this. You're like, what? That's what happened. And you can, bicker about what he's good at or what he's not good at. You're certainly not wrong to point out that if a certain player doesn't go for 41, but I wouldn't come in today if they would have lost and not had 41 from Denny and said, well, Tiago lost it all for him. I'd be like, why does this team suck so much on offense at times if Denny doesn't have it going? And luckily for them, Denny had it going and gave you 41 points.
Yeah, this is what I always bring up about coaching, right? Like, we can criticize him, or fans can criticize him in certain moments and plays and calls and lineups and all of that. It comes down to, do your star players show up more often than not?
Do they show up, and do people actually listen to what he's saying and buy in? Think about what John Bloom said yesterday with Budenholzer.
Yeah, it just didn't hit. It was
you want to talk about a
water.
guy who had the resume of all resumes and whatever, and for whatever reason he got there and it was oil and water, and they had to turf him.
Well, that's a title-winning coach coming into a situation, and he's probably saying, no, we're going to do this my way because I win. Tiago doesn't have that yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have that, but I think there's a lot of mutual respect back and forth between in the huddle and in the locker room, and
helps that he's a former player. I think for Tiago too, he's been through a lot. Like Damon talked about that in the Jailblazer doc a little bit, and I know it hasn't helped his coaching career because it didn't go great at Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
but just like the idea of, I've been in your shoes, I know what you're going through, and being able to sympathize with ups and downs and bumps and bruises and all of that.
They have
it's just
27
different.
Assistant coaches. I think there's some X and O's guys in there that can help out.
I mean, I certainly think that with coaching, greats separate themselves a little more in college than the NBA. I think who the best coaches are in the association, but I also acknowledge it could be a slim margin between the best to very good to then you got a separate gap of not good leaders whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, is Charles Lee now a better coach than Eric Spoelstra?
Right. I certainly wouldn't say that.
No, but you give him credit for, Kobe White going off and his team not giving up in a moment where they haven't played on that stage. Mm-hmm. But Spo also lost his best player.
Yes.
So
can he not coach anymore?
I think there's elements of coaching does matter. I don't completely dismiss it, but you need Denny Avdias to go for 41 at times.
Yes.
To lift the team. And it's not like he's coming out saying, I drew up a hell of a play here. He's telling everybody in the locker room and podium.
Get out of the way.
Congrats, Denny.
He
Way
was
to
even
carry
yelling
us.
at Shaden in the final possession because
Shaden
Shaden wasn't moving out of the way.
Space out, dude. Give him space.
Dude, get out of the way. Because I think Brooks was guarding him, I believe, initially.
Right.
And he's like, get him away from me so I can get to the hoop
Yeah.
and go make a bucket here. So, that's one of the reasons that I do. I certainly don't want to downplay some of the fears that people have because I don't know how it's going to play out. But when these stories continue to circulate about how much Tom Dundon is and isn't willing to spend, one, let's just wait and see what the deal ends up being. Is it Tiago? Is it somebody else? How many do they interview? And how much do they actually end up paying? But it's one of the reasons that I just don't make that big of a deal out of it. One, because the last guy we hired had never really been a coach before, and he got a contract extension after having one of the worst winning percentages in the history of the NBA based off of a half-a-year sample size.
Yeah.
And he got the job because he was buddies with the GM. And now going forward, Denver to me is a great example of this where they made a controversial move to fire Mike Malone.
Right at the end of the
They
regular
had just
season.
won a title. They fired their coach. It's like, what? Mike Malone, who's now making $10 million to be the head coach at North Carolina. So it's worked out okay for him. He's a championship-winning coach. How was Denver this year?
Right. They might be able
Are
to
they
get
the 3 seed in the West?
Yes.
Do they still have the best player in the NBA?
Mm-hmm.
Is their head coach a former coach in the PIL?
Yeah.
Who was probably a cheaper option than Mike Malone?
Well, he's also very respected.
I'm not saying he's not respected. I'm just saying this idea that you have to go out and land a big fish and we got to go pay Steve Kerr $15 million this year or else. Steve Kerr can't get the Warriors out of the play-in when Steph's not healthy.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes at a lot of that. So I think from everything that you're pointing to after last night's game and some of the comments that have been made down the stretch, I certainly haven't loved every lineup. I certainly haven't loved every out-of-bounds call. That will always be the case for coaches. You've exceeded expectations. You have made the playoffs, not the play-in. You're the 7 seed. If he wants the job and he wants to stick around, I'm all for giving it to Tiago Splitter.
I think he's put his hat in the ring and has given Dundon a lot to consider when they make that hire. I'd also just say for everything you just highlighted, you may not care. Maybe you step to the show and we talk about it and we're like, yeah, whatever. It's going to feel odd if it's a random NBA assistant coach that you don't know, right?
You mean like the last guy we hired, Chauncey Billups?
No, but we knew Billups.
Because he was a player, not as a coach. We didn't know him as a coach. He had never coached before.
But if they hire the lead assistant out of Miami.
Whatever, dude. I had never heard of the guy from OKC before they hired him.
Yeah, no doubt.
He was a G League coach. Do you think he was a little cheap?
Not a doubt.
Cheaper option than Billy Donovan, maybe? How's that worked out?
Assistant coach at NC State. Still feeling the same?
I don't.
You literally don't care.
I literally
at all.
don't care.
Okay.
I think it dictates 5% of winning in NBA games.
It's totally fine. And then you got David Blatt, and we're like, oh crap, dude, we got to fire this guy 30 games in.
Yeah, then you fire him like we should have done with the last guy before he got arrested by the FBI.
So you hold the opinion that soccer and hockey does of basically fire him 10 games in, have 4 in a year.
Our coach got arrested by the FBI, and we made the playoffs.
I know. How about we give the guy leading that group a little credit?
Just did. Give him the job. If he wants it.
You also said, don't care if NC State assistant coach is hired. That's all I'm pointing out.
Yeah, I don't make that big of a deal out of it. I understand the overarching concern for what it means for other parts of the organization. If you want to go there, that's fine. I just dude, hire whoever you hire. Is Denny Avdia going to go for 41? You got a decent chance at winning the game. That's the way the NBA works. Go get Jokic. You'll be fine. I'll coach the team to wins. Let's get to Statter's story, and we'll do it next on The Fan.
This is the Beak Breaker Blazers Report, brought to you by Pelican Brewing. Board at the beach.
The dance, the drive, in, hit, score! Foul! And the Blazers by 1!
Kevin Harlan on the call last night, Amazon Prime, as the Blazers get the win, the 7-8 game in the Western Conference. Bring on the San Antonio Spurs.
Super exciting to find the Blazers back in the playoff race, and I think you get the most exciting first-round matchup. You got Wemby coming to Portland at some point. We'll see what they do in the first 2 games. Spurs not with a ton of experience. Blazers going on the road last night, pretty impressive.
The Beak Breaker Blazer Report brought to you by Pelican Brewing's Beak Breaker IPA, packed with citrus hops, a smooth finish. Beak Breaker from Pelican Brewing. All right, folks, Saturday story time on a Wednesday, as it always is. Who wants to lead us off today? Who wants to be the leadoff hitter?
I'll start.
Okay, fire away.
Your number is 200.
200.
200. Is
on
it?
the dot. 200.
200 on the dot.
On the dot.
Is it the points per shot attempt by one Denny Avdia on the season? Or is it the amount of cows that were on the loose in Michigan after a tornado ripped through a dairy farm? Lot of mooing.
What was the number again?
200.
200.
200 points per shot attempt, according to Cleaning the Glass.
What are the chances? 200 on the dot makes me not confident in either answer. I'm going to go...
I think there's a half cow in there.
Half cow, yeah. It's not 202. There's just 200 exact cows.
Like a half a sack.
Anytime
Half a
people
sack.
think of cows, do you just hear Helen Hunt? Same cow.
Same cow. I'm going to go stat. Give me a stat, Bob. Final
Stat.
answer.
All right. Swag?
I'll go story.
Okay.
Uh-oh, we got split answers.
In the order.
Uh-oh. Oh, wow.
Yeah, a bit high, that 200 guess, but I knew if I gave you an advanced analytic like
Dude,
points
I
per
don't
shot
know.
attempt.
Usage rate? I got no reference here, dude. They give him the ball a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, it's total points scored per 100 shot attempts, according to Cleaning Glass. Denny Avdia, 120.2 in the 83 percentile.
We have too many nerds out there.
That's good. Not quite as high as 200. No, in the lovely state of Michigan, they had a tornado rip through a dairy farm, and officials had to use multiple levels of authority to help wrangle 200 dairy cows on the loose through the streets. Cows are big.
Cows are massive.
They're just running away from you. What are you doing if you ain't tranking them?
That is, yeah, I mean, you got to get some cowboys out there, lasso those bad boys, and bring them back
what else
around.
you do there, man?
You got to pen them back in.
Where's Billy Crystal when you need him?
The whole community had to help with this extravaganza. Just seeing 200 cows on the loose would be wild.
You remember the story of the zebra that got loose up in Washington a while ago?
Yeah.
My cousin was the one that wrangled it. It used to be a rodeo clown, and it was right down the road from his house. He's got horses, and he happened to be driving his trailer, and he had a horse in the back of his trailer, and he helped wrangle the zebra.
Wow.
He was the guy that did it.
What'd you do yesterday? I wrangled a zebra.
Wrangled a zebra.
Wrangle a zebra.
All right, Swag, what do you got?
Your number is 1933.
Okay.
Is it the number of made field goals in the career of Denny Avdia?
Oh.
Or is it the year that the first banana split was sold at a soda fountain store in Latrobe, Pennsylvania?
What year was
National Banana Day?
Yeah. What year was A Wonderful Life made?
I want to say late 40s, early 50s? I can look that up. That's not cheating.
I feel like he makes a banana
1946.
split. When he makes...
1946 is when it came out.
Maybe he just does scoops of ice cream with coconut on the top.
Yeah?
I'm going to give this a stat, Bob.
You're going to go stat?
I'm going to go story. Sorry. Story.
I'll go stat. Give me stat. Hey!
Damn it.
Denny Avdia, 1,933 made field goals in his career, a career-high 492 this season.
How about them apples?
He hit 125 threes in both seasons as a Trailblazer.
There we go.
He was not as efficient this year as last year. He was only 32% this year, 36.5% last year. But no, the history of the banana split has actually, there's books that have been written about it. There's a little controversy. Was it in Pennsylvania? Was it in Ohio? But Dave Strickler, a.k.a. Doc Strickler, crowned the king of the banana split dessert by Pennsylvanians. He was attending the University of Pittsburgh. 30 miles from Pittsburgh, he worked as a soda jerk for Tassel Pharmacy in Latrobe, and had a fellow student come in one day, said, give me something different, creative. So he had a banana, split it in half, a scoop of chocolate, a scoop of strawberry, scoop of vanilla.
The OGs.
Some whipped cream, 3 different sauces, and there you go.
There we go.
1904, the first banana split.
I'm anti-banana split.
Well, you know how I feel about bananas.
Yeah,
How
you're
can you be
anti-banana.
anti-banana split?
I'm like, of all the things that I could get at like a specialty kind of dessert.
Go to an ice cream shop.
Well, are you
or an
sitting
old-
down to eat it, or are you on the go? Because on the go, banana split's trash.
Oh, you would have to sit down and eat it. There's no doubt about that. I'm just like,
Dude, I love a banana split.
I like bananas.
Now, I'm more partial to the peanut butter parfait,
That's
the
what I'm
4
saying, like,
layers
there's
of
better
hot
options.
fudge with peanuts in it. But also,
I think
love
I'd rather have a
banana
root
split.
beer float than a banana split.
No, I'd rather have a banana split than
I like
root
the
beer
taste of
There
root
is
beer.
some controversy. The
Oh.
Soda Fountain magazine wrote an article
Uh-oh.
that said the first banana split was in 1905 in Boston.
Aha!
Oh, that's the first documented one.
So yeah.
So this guy worked at a pharmacy/soda pop place, probably made 33 cents an hour and had 9 houses.
Yeah, it's about how it used to work.
He was going to college trying to make a
house
few
for
extra-
$47
a buck or two.
Then he
on
bought the
side.
business for $4, and it's since become CVS. And
That was worth $38
that
billion.
family's doing
Yeah.
quite well now.
They're
How'd you
eliminating
like to
jobs
be
everywhere.
that your job? I'm a soda jerk.
I've worked at ice cream stores before.
Yeah, you did.
I enjoy it.
Were you a scooper?
You were scooping.
That's kind of an everything. Customer service, scooper, cleaner,
All right.
ran the machine, cleaned the machine. The best is when you make the purposeful mistakes so you can take them home at night.
There you go. Oops. That's not what you ordered?
If I worked at an ice cream place, I would snag a scoop every day.
How
Like a
big?
to-go cone?
Oh, no, like legitimately, we would, because it was all high school kids and one manager.
Yeah.
We
Usually-
would all make a mistake, put them in the back, and we would just take the one that we wanted every day.
How would you not?
My mom, famous stoner in the house.
Yes.
Every day I didn't come home with a mistake, quote unquote.
A little
some Rocky
frustrated.
Road?
There
What
was a
her
frustration factor with old Mama Sprague. of
Where you
like,
at on that? That was
yeah.
my dessert tonight.
Do you know how high I am? I needed that raspberry and chocolate.
Oh, she liked the fruit, more of the fruit rather than like Rocky Road.
She would take it. I mean, swag.
Doesn't
she
matter.
was-
It's ice cream.
Ice
I
cream,
do
but
the
yeah.
end. She takes anything.
I'll have it.
Anti-banana split.
Yeah, not my cup of tea, man. Not my jam. Your number is 5, ladies and gentlemen, 5. Is it the number of double-digit postseason games in the career of one Jeremy Grant?
5 double-digit scoring games for
Scoring
Jeremy Grant?
postseason games.
Okay.
Or the number of Bears who moved in under a front porch for a New Jersey family who thought this is cute while they hibernated, and now they have woken up and they're terrified and they don't know what to do.
Story. He played with the Thunder briefly.
Were they any good while he was there? Or were
5
those-
seems like a large
You're right.
amount
5
of
does.
Bears.
Yeah, but 5 double-digit games. He hasn't had any here.
He's never played in one in
And
Portland.
last night doesn't count.
Last
by the
night
way.
does
that
not
doesn't
count.
count.
Not a countsy.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
That's a lot of Bears.
Am I making you think?
Is 5 a lot of Bears?
I don't know. Is it a lot of bears? How big are the bears?
If I
didn't
told
tell
you 5 bears
are they
were in the
baby
parking
bears?
lot.
Is it a mom and babies? I don't know.
If I told you 5
Is
bears
this
in the parking
Goldilocks
lot,
place? What are
would
we
you say
talking
that's a
about?
lot?
Are they all full-size bears?
You don't know. You're just going into it blind.
Yeah, I would say that's a lot of bears.
That's a lot of Bears.
That's a lot of bears.
So it would have to be a mama bear with
Story.
Okay? Swag?
I'll go stat.
You gonna go stat? To Jeremy's credit, he's actually played more playoff games than I thought. I
Where
think.
else did he play?
What's the
Thunder.
total of games
I think
here?
the Thunder was his longest
Okay.
playoff.
35 playoff games total. Denver, he had playoff appearances in Denver too.
Oh, there we go.
Denver.
Uh-huh.
You're right.
He has 19 double-digit games
Gotcha.
in his career. His averages, I was trying to find his average. I can't remember off the top of my head. Any whoosies. So 19, he's done decent. Yeah, 5 bears moved underneath the home in New Jersey. It's a mama bear and 4 cubs. So that is the total of the bears. And at first, this New Jersey family thought, like, these guys are super cute. Look at these little baby bear. Baby bears
Then
are
they
super
start
cute.
growing.
Well, and then they hibernate, so they climbed underneath the front porch, and they were like, this is kind of fun. And then they woke up from their hibernation.
I'm
as
surprised
their-
the porch didn't bust when they woke up and were twice the size of what they were when they went to sleep.
This quote. She told ABC7 that the furry family have their 5 certain cute factor, especially the cubs, that made their unwanted presence a little more bearable. However, now that they have woken up, she is terrified of them, and it's scary to have Mama Bear walking around protecting her cubs.
You need to call
We're on their stomping grounds.
wildlife services or the zoo. It's like, yeah.
I mean, if you have bears that move in, like, you obviously need to call somebody. Are you moving out of your house temporarily?
Yeah.
You have to, right?
Yes.
If it's
I'm staying
safe
somewhere
to go
else.
outside, are they on the front? I mean, like, I got
What
to
if you're one of the neighbors and you're like, do something
Yeah.
about that?
What if you don't tell a neighbor and they experience, like, seeing it?
What's going through your trash?
I'm
you get home
feeling
from work?
betrayed, dude.
I absolutely
You have
am.
to let me know.
If I'm coming home
Yeah.
after dark, like, I need a heads up here that there's a bear roaming the streets. Also, bears in New Jersey. I mean, I guess I should have guessed that, but walking around a
yeah.
New Jersey neighborhood. So
There you go.
Look out for the bears under your front porch. There's Stat or Story every Wednesday at 9:15. Let's get to the latest update and a story that just won't go away. Will it go away now? That is next. But first, here's us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, just 2 more days to go in the NHL regular season, and the Eastern Conference matchups are all set, but a little bit to be determined yet in the West, as there's the Kings and the Sharks are still in things. Sharks are at the Blackhawks today at 5:30, and then tomorrow the Kings get Calgary, San Jose is at Winnipeg, Anaheim is at Nashville. Those 3 teams are all within a point of each other in the standings.
Pass along some good news from our great friends at Pelican who care about wildlife conservation. They've created a new brew, the special release available this Friday, with a portion of the proceeds from every pint sold in pubs going directly towards restoring sea otters to the Oregon coast and supporting healthier coastal ecosystems. You can also join them Saturday, April 11th. Or that's actually passed, so sorry about that. But they had a festival for this, but all the pints sold go to helping conservation for it.
Dude, who doesn't love an otter? The approval rating of the otter is through the roof.
If you want to get go viral, just get some otter video.
Otter video, dunking a basketball,
Stick it
doing
out
anything
there.
fun. Otters are great. My eyes away from the Blazers today have been continuing to follow the growing rumors that Live Golf might be shutting down.
Yeah, golfers got matchups, but they've been told nothing about whether
So they're
to show
in
up
Mexico.
or not.
They actually just had a press conference with the players, and they're like, we don't really know what's going on, but I guess there was a meeting in New York City. It's hemorrhaging money because nobody watches and cares, and it would be pretty wild. And what would Phil Mickelson do if that is to happen? Ooh, but it'd be fun to laugh at him a little bit.
There you go. More hockey, sea otter, and live golf stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the
Well, obviously, you have a lot of time the next couple of days to talk about the Blazers and Spurs series, which will begin on Sunday. We got more playing games tonight. We can close up there in a little bit. Did find an interesting update out of the NFL world.
Yeah.
That we have an answer on what's going to happen with Diana Russini, and that is that she is resigning from The Athletic. She released a letter yesterday that she sent to the Steve Ginsburg, the executive director, and basically saying this letter accepted as my resignation from The Athletic. To paraphrase, she says, when it was first reported on page 6, you guys supported me unequivocally, expressed confidence in my work and pride in my journalism. For that, I am grateful in the days that have followed. Unfortunately, commentators in various media have engaged in a self-feeding speculation that is simply unmoored from the facts. Moreover, the media frenzy is hurling forward without regard for the review process that The Athletic is trying to complete. Continues to escalate, fueled by repeated leaks, and I have no interest in submitting to a public inquiry that has already caused far more damage than I am willing to accept. She adds, rather than allowing this to continue, I have decided to step aside now before my current contract is up. She is resigning from The Athletic, an NFL insider. Gone. No, she turned off responses to this tweet. I don't know how long it's going to be until we see or hear from her again.
I think she had to do that for her last few tweets.
Yes, I mean, we talked about the numbers that were coming in that she would try and break news on something in the NFL, and it'd be like 2,000 responses and 24 retweets.
Yep.
And it's a fascinating story in the world of sports and journalism and insiders and sources and where you get your info from. And I don't know what the truth is. None of us do outside of Diana and Vrabel, but she is gone from The Athletic.
Yeah, and Vrabel's punishment is he won't talk to the media as much in the lead up to the draft.
No.
And by the way, nice reminder from the Boston, I think it was the Boston Journal or the Boston Herald, wrote a really good reminder piece. There's literally one of the biggest newsbreakers to ever exist got caught in an email telling the president of a franchise, tell me what you don't want in the story, Mr. Editor.
Yes, he did.
What happened to that?
Adam Schefter.
Literally nothing. I'm not telling you that it's okay to be sleeping with people you're getting sourcing from and all that stuff.
Well, again, allegedly. We don't know if she's sleeping with Mike Vrabel or not. That's the tough part of all this.
That being said, it's not like this hasn't controversy or questionable stuff in journalism hasn't been happening.
Of course.
The Schefter reminder is the primo kiss of nothing happened to that guy. Literally.
No, they all get information certain ways.
Yeah. Tell me what you think, Mr. Editor, to the president of an NFL franchise that you're breaking news about?
Right. I think that's a weird spot of there is unquestionably a double standard here.
Well, yes.
And there's also the idea of, and there are times in this industry where I feel guilty of falling into this trap. Like the last one that this happened, I remember was would she go to Ole Miss? The gal with the dad, the boyfriend's dad. And all those rumors were rampant.
Lane Kiffin?
No, it wasn't Lane Kiffin. There was a student at Ole Miss, and just a viral story went online about how she slept with her boyfriend's dad on a trip.
That's
and
right.
everybody, we all glommed onto that for 72 hours.
McAfee got in trouble for that one.
McAfee got sued over it because they were at the NFL Combine joking about it on the air about, sleeping with your boyfriend's dad and all this. And nobody we didn't know the person. We didn't have a shred of information, and we all fall victim of feeding the beast and feeding the troll.
Right.
And she came out and just adamantly denied all of it. She filed lawsuits, defamation suits left and right. I don't know where all of those went or if they were settled. There is part of me that did feel like a little bit we fed the beast because it's a sensationalized story. It's a reporter sleeping with a head coach. Your mind goes to House of Cards and stories like that.
Oh, yeah.
How are you getting your information? Oh, and Diana Russini is also somebody who had those allegations thrown out about her years ago that they were eventually then walked back. But the unfortunate part about that is that when you hear the allegations, the Jailblazer doc made me think of this. whether there's any truth to it or not, like the way we felt about Bonzi and some of the memories we have about Bonzi is not fair in any way, shape, or form to Bonzi. Bonzi never got in trouble legally. He was never arrested. He was never found with drugs. He wasn't in the yellow Hummer. He didn't take weed into tinfoil. He didn't have a pound of weed in his counter. And that was one of my takeaways because I didn't remember every detail about it yesterday, but it's like, man, my vision went to, I felt like he was more of a troublemaker, and all it really was a quote in a Sports Illustrated article, but what you remember is funny, and that's the thing for Russini. That hung on to her from the GM's comments of the wife of the Redskins at the time, and then she eventually walked it back, but we remembered it, and then this story comes out. Like, the double standard makes you a little sick to your stomach. I feel terrible for her. I don't know the truth behind this story.
Well, she's going through a lot probably in her personal life, given everything that's been talked about.
Like, if you're her husband, you're asking questions, and no matter how many times she denies it, it's not like you have become the focal point of the internet, and being the focal point of the internet is not a fun place to be.
Well, and I think I slightly disagree with you of, like, not that we'll never see her again, but it's more like, when will we? Where will
hire her in a heartbeat.
Okay, and then every time she puts anything out, like, the internet's just not going to let her forget this.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you're asking who's going to hire, Barstool would hire. She's on every Barstool podcast. She's friends with Portnoy. She's on PMT.
She was the highest paid employee at the New York Times.
She was.
Maybe.
We asked this about John Gruden when his emails were leaked, and where did John Gruden end up?
Yep. Barstool, yeah.
He's making probably a lot of money. Took a while. I don't know if it happens next football season or later than that, but we got a ways to go until the football season kicks off.
I was wondering who we see first back at their professions, Sharon Moore or Diana Russini. He got probation.
Diana Russini is actually good at her job.
If you told me Jim Harbaugh brought him on as like some special assistant type and talked about God and forgiveness,
wouldn't surprise me.
You would be shocked by that?
Second chances. Take his phone away, Jim. Don't let him DM anybody.
I think if Diana Russini shows up sooner than later, it's more on a podcast than being a, quote, reporter insider trying to break news and do something that traditional journalism stands
right.
for.
She is becoming a personality instead of a newsbreaker.
I mean, a lot of this is going to hinge on, like, if somehow it comes out that she's completely in the court of public opinion, like, oh, yeah, there's the other 15 people they had mentioned we had never seen before.
If there's something that totally exonerates her and makes everybody else look completely foolish for jumping to that conclusion, then okay. But as long as we're just dealing in shadows and gray areas and he said, she said, whatever.
Yeah, my last take on it too, and I try not follow them as much as I can. Like, the newsbreaker industry to me is so dumb. Like, we're all going to find out eventually. Being the first to report something, like Shams gets all of his news and he tweets out thank yous to the agents who nobody has ever heard of before, and it's just
nor do we really care.
Dude, stop, you're licking their boots, and it's just like, I don't care who they are. Your Schefter point is spot on. He only reports what people want him to report. There was zero independence to anything that he says.
The Kirk Cousins deal. Remember, he tweeted and then he deleted, and we're like, wait, so that's happening.
We had Arson Judge in baseball. Yeah, how do you think that one made me feel? My team sucks. I'd love to have Aaron Judge on my team.
Nice
nothing ever happened from that. Still breaking news. No. But it's all based on just getting ahead. We're all going to find
for like a 2-minute head start on it, really.
The team's going to release a press release in an hour. I didn't need to know an hour ago. It just, the whole industry is dumb to me to begin with.
Yeah.
Let alone the people that then quote tweeted and act like they're breaking their own news. So that's, I mean, look, tough for Diana Russini. I don't know where it goes from here, but she made, I think, probably the only move that she could. This was not going to go away. It was not going to die down. The feeding frenzy was not going to stop. Every time she tweeted or said anything, it was never going to end. And now maybe being quiet for 3 months makes it dimmer down a little bit. I don't know, but that's Russini's move. She's gone from the Athletic. We got more playing games tonight. We'll close up there, and some final thoughts on the Blazers win over the Suns and answering some poll questions next on The Fan. Well, we got poll questions. We got playing games. Will we double dip the playing? Are we excited for playing tonight? We're going to do the playing again.
I'm excited for Orlando to lose so we can get Paolo Banchero in this beast.
Okay. Blazer Honk Sprague chiming in. Pancaro on his way to Portland.
So I'm rooting for the misery of other franchises.
I'm okay with that. It proves my take even more right. 5 picks for Desmond Bain. Fire the GM for that.
Am I going to watch? Certainly. I will miss some of it because I have basketball tonight. Let me just give you on the front end here. I understand the names involved. I don't have a lot of excitement for either of these games, and that includes having a Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard game. I'll watch, but I'm not going to be like
eagerly awaiting.
I'm not over the moon. Yeah. I think the Clippers have been a disaster for 3 weeks, and the Warriors are not good.
Got to be honest with you. Again, it'll be on my TV at periods throughout the evening.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very low care level for me tonight.
As it should.
Are you more
the
interested?
Clippers,
we won. We're not involved
We're
anymore.
done.
We're
Our
done.
work's over here.
Yeah.
Orlando's not doing squat. Just end their season. I'm with you. That's fine.
I don't really care about Philly.
Right. I don't care if Embiid's not playing. And then Kawhi, like the Clippers are just lost. Steve Kerr said we're a fading dynasty. Like he already knows the end is there for Golden State. Like
your Giants are at the Reds at 340. You more into that?
I will watch that, but it's. I mean, they suck. They're really
My
bad.
Bravo's playing for a series against the Marlins today.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You got that going for you.
415.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep more of an eye on that than I will probably anything else. But I'll have the games on. I'll turn them on. I'll watch, see a couple minutes. If they're close and competitive.
The Sixers
late
has come
in the game.
down. They're only a 1.5 favorite now. It started at 2.5 this morning, and then the Clips are 5.5 point favorites.
Well, after my gambling dub last night on the Hornets, Blazer parlay, I'm going to take a night off. I have no feeling about either of these games. I don't
It's
really
nice
care
to end
about
on a win.
I'm not touching these games. Dude.
Early line, Blazers 10.5 point dogs for game 1.
10.5?
I'm looking at DraftKings.
You want to bark over there, don't you? I need to hold you back.
I don't
You're
know.
USC coming out of the tunnel against Alabama right now, aren't you?
I don't know, man. I really
down, boy, down.
I think Wemby's coming out to make a real no, I'm here and it's time. I don't think he cares about this young narrative thing.
No, I don't think
so.
he does
No,
either.
I'm not coming out barking right now. No, that gets to 12 and a half. Daddy might have to bark a little bit. Not right now.
Poll question at Dirt and Sprague. If you want to go to the Sunday Blazer playoff game, how do you go about buying the ticket? Do you wait and see or buy now? Now, we have
I should have put game 4, but,
Yes, I mean, yeah.
I would assume
for
you
people can connect the dots. Sprague wants to go to the Sunday game.
Yeah.
The tickets are incredibly expensive. Now, many people have pointed out the actual team tickets went on sale at 9 a.m.
I think they're gone.
They might be gone. You had to
But
go
people
in.
were trying to say that maybe you could have maybe found a cheaper one from the team site and the secondary market was more expensive. But I'm sure they're now sold out now.
It's hard to navigate a radio show while the ticket office opens.
Yeah, you got to go into the queue in your account, and you can't just...
You did it before the show for a Garth Brooks concert one time.
We had a good window for it. It worked out well for me, too.
Wait and see or buy now were your options.
Where are we at right now?
61.4% of people say wait and see.
Okay.
That's the roll of the dice. If they win a game, prices are going up.
I don't want them to be down 3-0.
If they're down
3-0,
3-0,
prices are going to... I might be in the 100 level. 3-0?
All of a sudden, you're Bob Uecker. I'm in the front row. I'm moving on up, baby. Somebody get me a Miller Lite. So there's your poll question. You can go vote on that. I did think there's an interesting point to close, and we'll obviously have a lot more time the next 2 days to talk about this and kind of get ready. And it's actually from a former Sprague teammate who texted in, so I enjoyed that. The Blazers have a lot of players with no playoff experience. Who do you think will be the unexpected star to show out, no matter how long their run is? Shea, Scoot, Klingon. Thoughts on who becomes the unexpected? Because every playoff run, think to the...
So who are we eliminating out of this category? Drew, Denny,
Jeremy?
Jeremy,
yes, are all off limits. I think so.
Tamani.
Okay. Even after last night offensively?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was still awesome defensively.
No doubt about it.
I was frustrated with the offense.
He had one of the worst passes I've ever seen in a playoff game.
In
a basketball game in general.
I think Scoot will average 3 of those in this series. A game.
Yes, he will.
I think Shaden will randomly make me go,
not
Kling
Kong. Kling Kong against Victor Wembanyama? If he leaves him alone on the three-point line, can Klinger have a Myers-Leonard moment?
I'm feeling a little odd on Klingon because, man, he's so damn good on the offensive glass, but the offensive output has just been bad.
Can he do anything defensively against Wemby?
Now, in this argument, does him rubbing Wemby wrong in the ribs?
Yes, kneeing him in the chest.
Does that count? Because you might have to put him in the conversation.
MVP.
You wanted a dirty player. We might have.
Give me one, baby.
Our overly aggressive player that doesn't care.
Who didn't love? I mean, the flagrant, what you could soft, whatever. I love that he grabbed. Brooks was in everybody's face.
I thought
he
it was
barking.
soft, yeah.
That's fine. I still love that he did it. I don't care if he got the flagrant or not.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tumani.
Okay.
That's my guess.
That's your go-to guy?
I hope it's Shaden. I'd feel great if it was Shaden, but I'm going to go Tamani.
Okay. Swag, you agree?
Yeah, I think
Tamani's your sleeper cell?
Yeah. Like, he could take over a game with his defense and knocking down threes at one of them. The Blazers, like, if they come out and have one of those games where everybody's hitting threes, then that's how they steal one on the road.
I worry about Donovan getting in foul trouble is what I worry about.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. Robert Williams doesn't really fall into that category, too, because he's played in playoff games. I don't know if he'd be a surprise, but he's going to be massive in this series.
But Klingen's got to be into his...
There's got to be an impact, man. You got to feel Donovan Klingen
He
playing.
can't allow Wemby to have space. He's got to close the space.
Close the space. Let's close up the show, shall we? It was a fun one. 1051thefan.com if you missed it. At 1051thefan on Twitter, at Dirt and Sprague on Twitter. That will do it for us. Thanks, everybody, for watching the second half of the show on YouTube. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. A lot of Blazer content today, and go check any of it if you missed it. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm of Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM The Fan.